Welcome to our journey through the life of one of history's most legendary figures, Alexander the Great. From his early education to his untimely death, let's explore the key events that shaped his extraordinary legacy. Imagine being born in a time when the world was much smaller, or at least it felt that way. Alexander was born into a world that was ripe for the taking, and take it he did. But his story isn't just about military conquests. It's about ambition, leadership, and the lasting impact of one person on the course of civilization. Buckle up, because we're about to travel through time and across continents to uncover the story of Alexander the Great. Let's rewind to the year 356 BC. Alexander wasn't born into some insignificant family. No, his father was King Philip II of Macedon. But being born to royalty doesn't automatically make you great. Alexander's path to greatness began with an education most of us can only dream of. At the tender age of 13, he wasn't just learning his ABCs, he was being tutored by the Aristotle. Yes, Aristotle, the father of Western philosophy. Imagine the conversations, the debates, the sheer intellectual firepower in that room. Aristotle instilled in Alexander a love for knowledge, a curiosity about the world, and a deep appreciation for philosophy, science, and the arts. This wasn't just book learning, this was about understanding the human condition, the nature of power, and the art of persuasion. These were lessons that would stay with Alexander throughout his life, shaping him into a leader who was as comfortable on the battlefield as he was in a room full of scholars. It's no coincidence that some of history's greatest military strategists were also deep thinkers. After all, to conquer the world, you first need to understand it. The year is 336 BC. Alexander is just 20 years old. Picture this. You're barely old enough to drink in most parts of the world today, and suddenly you're thrust onto the world stage because your father, the king, has been assassinated. Talk about pressure. Most 20-year-olds are worried about exams or what to wear on a Friday night. Alexander had to worry about holding on to his throne while dealing with enemies both foreign and domestic. And hold on, he did. Alexander didn't just inherit a kingdom, he inherited his father's ambition to conquer the Persian Empire. But first he had to consolidate his power at home. Rebellions erupted, testing the young king's mettle. Alexander, however, proved to be a decisive and ruthless ruler. He crushed the uprisings with swift and brutal efficiency, sending a clear message. He was not a man to be trifled with. With his kingdom secure, Alexander set his sights on a prize that had eluded his father, the vast and wealthy Persian Empire. Little did the world know, a new era of conquest was about to begin, led by a king who was as ambitious as he was brilliant. The Persian Empire, massive, wealthy, powerful. This wasn't just some regional power, this was an empire that stretched from Egypt in the west to the Indus River in the east. Taking them on would be a monumental task, even for the most seasoned general. But Alexander wasn't afraid of a challenge. He led his army across the Hellespont, a narrow strait separating Europe from Asia, and set foot on Persian soil. What followed was a clash of civilizations, a series of epic battles that would be told and retold for centuries. Imagine the scene, thousands upon thousands of soldiers clashing on dusty plains, the air thick with the smell of sweat, blood and fear. At the Battle of Granicus River, Alexander's forces routed the Persians. Then came the Battle of Issus, where he faced off against the Persian king Darius III himself. Darius, however, underestimated Alexander. The Macedonian king's tactical genius and his army's ferocity proved too much for the Persians to handle. Darius fled the battlefield, leaving Alexander to claim a stunning victory. But the biggest showdown was yet to come. Chapter 4. Imagine a flat, open plain near the ancient village of Gaugamela. The year is 331 BC, and the fate of the Persian Empire hangs in the balance. It's here that Alexander and Darius III would meet for their final, decisive encounter. Darius had assembled a massive army. Some estimates say it numbered in the hundreds of thousands. He had chariots with scythed wheels, war elephants, and soldiers from every corner of his vast empire. Alexander, however, had something Darius didn't: unwavering confidence and a knack for exploiting his enemy's weaknesses. The Battle of Gaugamela was a chaotic, bloody affair. Chariots thundered across the battlefield, arrows rained down from the sky, and men fought hand to hand with a ferocity that is hard to comprehend. But through it all, Alexander led from the front, inspiring his troops with his courage and tactical brilliance. The result? Another crushing defeat for Darius, who once again fled the field. Gaugamela marked the end of the Persian Empire. Alexander had done what many thought was impossible. He had conquered the seemingly unconquerable. He was just 25 years old. Chapter 5. Alexander wasn't just a conqueror, he was a city builder. He understood that true power wasn't just about winning battles, it was about spreading your culture, your ideas, and your influence. As he marched across Asia, he founded city after city, over 20 in total, each one strategically placed and named, of course, Alexandria. These weren't just military outposts, they were centers of learning, commerce, and culture. Think of them as ancient Greek franchises, spreading the word far and wide. The most famous of these cities, Alexandria in Egypt, would go on to become one of the greatest cities in the ancient world, a beacon of knowledge and learning for centuries. Imagine the impact of this. Before Alexander, Greek culture was largely confined to the Greek world. But with each city he founded, Alexander brought Greek language, philosophy, art, and architecture to the east. He was, in a way, history's first global influencer, spreading Hellenistic culture long before the internet made it easy. Chapter 6. After conquering the Persian Empire, Alexander set his sights even further east, pushing into India. He won battles, of course, but his army, exhausted from years of campaigning, was reaching its breaking point. They were thousands of miles from home, weary of battle and longing for their families. In 323 BC, while in Babylon, Alexander fell ill. He had been burning the candle at both ends for years, and his body, weakened by years of campaigning and perhaps a little too much celebrating, finally gave out. What exactly killed him is still a mystery, lost to time. Was it malaria, typhoid fever, poison? We may never know for sure. What we do know is that Alexander died at the age of 32. Just think about that for a moment. In just 3 decades, he had conquered most of the known world, spread Greek culture across continents, and left an indelible mark on history. His empire may have been short-lived, but his legacy would endure for centuries. Outro Alexander the Great's legacy continues to influence the world today. His conquests and the cities he founded spread Greek culture far and wide, leaving an indelible mark on history. Thank you for joining us on this journey through his remarkable life. From his education by Aristotle to his conquest of the Persian Empire, Alexander's story is a testament to the power of human ambition, leadership, and the enduring influence of ideas. He may be gone, but his legend continues to inspire us to dream big, to push the boundaries of what's possible, and to leave our own mark on the world. So the next time you're feeling lost or uninspired, remember the story of Alexander. Remember the young king who dared to dream of conquering the world and in doing so changed the course of history forever.